Christmas! Welcome, my name is Helena and I'm the creator of Fabel Knitwear. Today I am here to interrupt your holidays with the 2020 Advent calendar from Fabel Knitwear. This is my second year doing an Advent calendar. It has been such fun. The whole process from planning to actually dyeing it up and then finishing off, packing it all together and then shipping it out, watching your reactions as you open them. It's just been an absolute joy, and that's my favourite thing about the holidays, is all those festive traditions. And this being the second year, I'm gonna go ahead and call it an official tradition. So I am gonna show you the 5 colorways. I don't do mini skeins, I do 500-gram skeins, one for each Sunday of Advent and then one for Christmas morning, all in secret festive colorways that are exclusive for the calendar. Meaning they've never been dyed up before, they are completely secret. But if I love them enough, and if you guys love them enough, I will bring them back into the normal shop inventory, which I have done this year with last year's colours, at least a few of them. So we'll just have to see, but they are exclusive for now. For this year's calendar, I made a little mood board which followed along and has a message at the back and just some collective inspiration and getting you into the Christmas spirit and going to get you ready for what you will have received. This was just the vibe of the calendar. So now that you've seen that, let's just dive in. I'm going to start with the first Sunday of Advent, which is the colour Juwel. Show you on all the bases it's been available to pre-order on, which is 5 bases: Bonnie DK, Elder, Usk, Athena and Mohair Silk. First up, let's just start with Bonnie DK, my blue face Leicester DK weight, and this is the colour Juwel. Juwel is this deep, like blood red, kind of really deep ruby, nearly garnet red, and as you all know, it is my absolute favourite shade. These deep reds with that don't have purples in them, and my god, I love this so much. Juwel will definitely be joining my regular inventory colourwork list because I am obsessed with it. On Bonnie DK, it gets this gorgeous, rich, velvety tone. And then we have Elder. By the way, Bonnie DK is superwash. Elder is non-superwash. It is my 100% organic, non-superwash merino, also a DK weight. This is probably my favourite DK base ever. I love this. It's a bit more muted, but it's still really nice and rich. I'm so pleased with how this dyed up. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Yeah, you can tell a little bit. This is a lot richer. This is a bit more muted. Still so nice and even. There we have it so far. Let's move on to Usk, which is my Norwegian base, which is spun at Hillesborg. It's 100% Norwegian wool, it's non-superwash, and it's a very light sport weight. Here you have it. also so pleased with this. Love this. I really love knitting with Usk, as I know many of you do. Usk is the second favourite base for the calendar, both this year and last year. And I'm very pleased that many of those who ordered Usk were not Norwegian. So it's been going abroad, a lot to the US, and that's really fun. And we have Athena, which is my merino nylon gold stellina fingering weight. This is my, if I could only ever choose one yarn to knit with, probably be this one. I am very partial to a bit of sparkle. I'm not sure if you can see the sparkle through the camera. I promise it is here. And again, I think, well, this colour is just gorgeous on all of them. And then last, but by no means least, Mohair Silk. This year I offered up a new type of calendar, which was the deluxe calendar, where you could choose your solid base, so any of the 4 bases I just showed you, along with a matching skein of Mohair Silk. So say you chose Born DK, we've got these two, or these two. Just as an exclusive luxury, and I'm so pleased that many of you opted for that version, because it just creates the full package, so to speak. And I love how Mohair Silk takes dye, because it does take it differently from the other yarns. It's not that visible with a sort of tonal semi-solid, but more with the variegated ones, which I'll show you in a minute. This, here we have it on Mohair Silk, and oh, I love it. It's just so rich. This is Juvel, which was the first colour for the first Sunday of Advent in the 2020 Advent calendar. The colourway for the second Sunday of Advent was Furudris. Furudris is, I'm not really sure if it's a real word, it is in my vocabulary. It's the scattering of pine needles that lands on the sort of burlap mat, or the burlap cloth that we put under the Christmas tree. And there's just something so festive and cozy about those scattered pines, at least when it's a small quantity. And so this is Furudris. It's this burlappy hay harvest colour with speckles of green. It's a really just nice, subtle colour, I think. And I'm not sure if burlap is the right word, I'm just gonna go with it. I think you know what I mean, and I feel it just doesn't have to be burlap, it's also just the colour of like gingerbread dough and the cosy sort of brownish tan colour. You can also, even just this picture with the gingerbread and there's the pine, it's a whole vibe. This is Bonnie DK. Here we have it on Alda. I really love these green speckles. They range from like a really pale moss to a deeper forest green. And we have Usk. I love it on this base. It just feels very yummy. Athena. And again, lastly, Mohair Silk. And this is just like a caramel cloud with pine in it. It's so delicious. Actually, not so much caramel, more like fudge. We call that caramel in Norway. The third Sunday of Advent happened this year, 2020, to fall on December 13th, which is Lucia-dagen, Santa Lucia. And Norway is not a Catholic country. It's not a very, I'm generalizing, but not a very religious country at all. But for some reason we still do Lucia, probably more for tradition than anything else. And at least for when you're school age, as in elementary school, there's someone is chosen, or some class is chosen, to sing the song and walk with lit candles through dark corridors and wear these white capes, and someone is chosen to be Lucia and gets to wear the crown with the lights on it. And I was never chosen as Lucia, but my sister was, I think, several times in her grade. So I wanted to make a colour that would be Lucia. This is it. Let's start with one DK. Here we have it. This is Lucia. It's a really pale grey with speckles of gold and yellow. Which for me just sums up Lucia. It's the white robes in dark rooms, giving everything kind of grey tinted light, and there's obviously the candles. Once when I was in elementary school, the grade above me were doing Lucia, and they were on stage singing, and they used real candles. I'm sure we did as well. And a girl's hair caught fire. Some boy behind her wasn't paying attention and stood with this candle way too close to her head, and it caught fire. And it's still a really vivid memory. Everything was fine, everyone noticed. She didn't until her head was on fire, but it was fine. Next up, Elder. I really love it on this base. It's a bit more muted, seeing as it's non-superwashed. Here you have quite clear speckling. It washes out a bit more, but I really enjoy that effect as well. I really like this on Elder. And then we have Usk. Again, being non-superwash, you don't get those clear speckles. You can see everything's a bit more, I'm not really sure what to call it, more dominating. Whereas here the speckles kind of, on Bonnie TK, they kind of land where you put them. And then Athena, and with the gold stellina on this silvery base with the golden speckles. It's really, really lovely and festive, even though it's quite subdued and subtle. And then Mohair Silk, and I love it on this as well. I just think it's really rich and luxurious on this. So that was Lucia on the 3rd Sunday of Advent. For the 4th Sunday of Advent, I created a colour called Advent. And at least in Norway, I at least associate Advent with a really rich, luxurious kind of Venetian purple. And so here I found this really nice picture of these deep, rich, deep purple Christmas ornaments on the tree. And I made a purple called Advent. This is Bonnie DK. Showing up a bit darker than it is in real life. It's a bit more plummy. It's a bit richer, it's not so stuck. And then we have Elder. Ask. Athena and the sparkle with this deep purple is amazing. And lastly, Mohair Silk. I'll say it for the 3rd time, maybe the 4th. It's warmer in real life. It's hard to show you. But yeah, this is Advent. And for Christmas morning, whether you celebrate on the 24th or the 25th, we celebrate on the 24th, and we wake up and we watch Tränat ute i Laskepot, which was one of my colours last year, which is just a Christmas tradition and has been for as long as I can remember. And then I'll watch like half of Reisen til Stjern, which is another Christmas tradition film. And then halfway through I'll get bored and I'll go set my hair or do something, have some lunch. And then will be on in the background, and Disney Cavalcaden, just the festive Disney sort of mashup, will be on, and I'll watch that. And then I'll go get ready and dressed up. We get dressed up for Christmas, we don't. We sit around in our pyjamas in the morning, but we don't open presents in the morning. And then we get dressed up, in my family at least. The men will wear suits and all put on nice dresses or nice blouses and all that stuff, and lipstick, and then we have dinner at 5. We have pinnekjøtt, which is dried and salted lamb ribs with kålrabistappe, which I believe is, I don't know how you pronounce it, suede? Anyway, it's a root veg. And then we'll have a mash of that, loads of butter and yummy things in it, and some medister kaka or medisterpølse, which are dinner sausages with all the delicious Christmas spices. I love it. And warmed, or that sounds really weird, cooked, warmed, baked and spiced apples and prunes, which is delicious. And then after we've eaten, we will open presents, and then halfway through, when we're not bursting at the seams anymore, we will have dessert, which can be any rice pudding or caramel pudding, chocolate pudding. And pudding in Norway is not the same as in the UK, because what you call pudding, I don't get. But actual pudding. And then we open the rest if there is any more, and then we just hang out. It's very nice, and even though we're dressed up, it's very chill. And I think we maybe get dressed up a bit more than many others, but I love it. So that's how we spend Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. We call it julaften, and julaften starts in the morning, even though it literally translates as Christmas Eve. All that just to set you in the mood, and also hope maybe got you thinking about your Christmas Eve that you just had, or Christmas Day, to say that the Christmas Eve, julaften, Christmas morning colorway is also the most festive, and as such is my favorite. And this was such fun to dye. I had to try so many takes to get it. It just wasn't working because I had to make sure it worked on the non-superwash bases, especially Usk, which just takes color so differently. I finally got it, and I am so psyched for this colorway, and I hope you liked it. I know I do. So let's just dive in. The color is called The Ghost of Christmas Present, which is a Charles Dickens reference from A Christmas Carol, which is the, I don't know if you've seen it, I'm just assuming you have. It's the very festive, jolly ghost with the velvet robes and the crown of holly and all those lovely festive flowery things, and there's feast and there's packages, and it's just all the festive joy of Christmas wrapped into one bundle. And that's the colorway that I really wanted to share with you for Christmas Day, and it is Ghost of Christmas Present, and here it is. This is actually on Elder. I grabbed that on first, and it took dye so well. It's clear, like there's clear differences between the white and the red and the green, but with it being non-superwash, it still muddles together a bit more than the superwash one. So there's also some shading of green, there's a bit of yellow and pink in there as the dyes mash up. And this is just Christmas to me. There's nothing that's more Christmassy than this. And this on Athena is amazing. Look at this. This is so festive. I need something in this for next Christmas, because how can I not? And the sparkle with this variegation of green and red and white and some pink, it's just divine. I definitely need something in this for next Christmas, because it makes me so happy. Usk, I really love it on Usk as well. This is the base that is hardest to take colour when doing variegations and speckles. I am so pleased with this. it's more muddied, it's not as clear, the distinctions aren't as clear, and there's less white, because the areas that you can keep white on Athena, for instance, become more pinkish or light green with yellow, but it's still so rich and deep, and this feels so cozy. Isn't this just the most festive thing ever? Oh. And we have Mohair Silk, and again, Mohair Silk in my experience doesn't take speckles the way a normal superwash yarn would. It gets a bit more muddied and watercolory, but still so nice. And the same as with Usk, it just feels so cozy. And this is it. This is Ghost of Christmas Present on Mohair Silk. I love this colourway so much. I just think it's the most festive thing. I mean, isn't it just the most festive? And I was debating whether to do it for the first Sunday of Advent to kind of set the mood, but then I opted for Christmas morning or Christmas Day because this is my favourite. Just because it's so festive, and I wanted to save the best for last. There you have it. Makes me so happy. Oh, I can't stop tooting my own horn with this, but I love Christmas. It's my favourite holiday. It always has been, and anything Christmassy I am in. And I love a good traditional Christmas with red and green and white and hot chocolate and gingerbread, and I'm in. I love this. So to sum up, let me show you what they all look like together. What am I missing? Here we have them, not in any particular order. This is on the theme. So we have Lucia, Advent, Fyridris, Juvel, and Ghost of Christmas Present. That's the whole 2020 Advent calendar. I hope if you got a calendar that you loved it, and at least that you loved some of the colours. That's always the thing I have to remind myself when doing stuff like this, that not everyone is gonna have each colour be their favourite colour. That's just impossible. I love planning it and making them work together, even though like a specific pattern isn't included or thought. There's nothing that you're meant to knit with it. You can knit them together into a shawl, you can use them separately, and with other stuff there are no rules, but I do love when they just cohesively make a thought out unit of work. So that's really, really fun. There was also some other stuff in the calendar. There were buttons, the Fabel Rose button, there was the Nymphaea button, there was a discount code for future use in the shop, there was a knitting pattern, and there were some clothing labels with the Fabel Knitwear logo. So just some extra little just some extra little bits and bobs to set the mood and just give you some extra little trinkets just for fun. The calendars also included one festive little stitch marker for each skein of yarn, and there's loads of different ones. This is just a tiny collection, and which one you would have gotten if you ordered one is completely random. That's it. That's the whole thing. I hope not only that you enjoyed the calendar if you got one. If you didn't, I hope you just enjoyed watching the video. And I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas holiday, and that you're still having one, even whether you celebrate or not. Enjoy this time of year. Make the best of it with the 2020. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. I know I will. Bye.